In this lecture, let's take a peek at the typical workday in a distributed software engineer's life. A typical day starts with coffee or green tea, then saying good morning, hi to everyone in the distributed team's chat rooms. At the very beginning of the day, when there's fresh thoughts, pick up writing code from where it was brought to a logical end the last evening. Then we gather for the daily Scrum meeting to synchronize plans for the day and measure if we're progressing towards the goal of the iteration. By the time I arrive at office, it normally is 11 a.m. India time, and then given the 3.5 hours time difference, it would be 7 a.m. here in the Netherlands. I live 20 kilometers away from work, and the traffic at Bangalore could sometimes get worse, from horrible to horrendous. Normally, it takes me 60 minutes to drive to work, and if some vehicle on the road breaks down, unfortunately, then the road gets jammed, and it might take longer to commute to office. Then we have our daily Scrum starting 12 noon India time, and that would be 8:30 a.m. in the Netherlands. So developers from India and the developers from Netherlands join this online meeting, and we craft a plan of the work for that particular day. But before the time of daily Scrum, I normally look at the code base warnings and try to improve the quality of the last night's code that I committed, or just start writing code from where we left off last evening. In one team that I was working for a couple of years back, we had developers from Austin, Texas, USA, and from Beijing, China, and I was in Bangalore, India. It was a 9-member software development team, and we had challenges in terms of collaborating for these meetings. Sometimes the developers from Austin would punch in early for the daily Scrum, and the developers at Beijing would work an hour late. We would be on our regular schedules in India business hours, so there's enough overlap and we can collaborate for the daily Scrum events. In the next month, we took turns for these collaboration events to synchronize with each other, and everyone got a fair deal in terms of either coming in early or logging off late from work. If it is the iteration planning day, start with planning work for that particular iteration. And if it is the iteration end, then collaborate with other developers. Start early during the day probably, or stay back a couple of hours late. And we prepare to showcase the business value being delivered and seek feedback from the business owners and stakeholders. Together with the developers in the Netherlands, we prepare the content that needs to be showcased to the stakeholders. We prepare the test data, sample use cases, and the business value that the feature adds. The business owners and stakeholders are always interested to hear about the business value that a software feature delivers than the details of its technical implementation. What we do from our distributed team is nominate a team member that would lead showcasing the software features. We do a dry run in terms of readiness of the presentation and demo, or normally someone volunteers to showcase the product features for every iteration. I must say that the end of the iteration is the iteration review meetings are the most satisfying events in the distributed engineer's life. This is the time where we get to demonstrate our work, the software that we have developed, and explain the business value that it adds. And we also have calls with business owners to discuss the business value of what is being built when we're in doubt. And we also use tons of internet bandwidth and video conferencing, desktop sharing, code check-ins. We take advantage of many tools and hardware to help us with video conferencing, desktop sharing, and source code control. But more about the tools in the next lecture. We also engage ourselves on a daily basis in a lot of code review discussions and design discussions. Sometimes it is decided that when an iteration ends on the last day, the next iteration's planning meeting is started so that people from different time zones could collaborate during that time. And that's how a typical day looks like for a software developer. Remember, when working distributed, it is crucial to keep communications open, being transparent, and collaborate as and when required. And at the end of the day, when it's time to go home, we have to check in the code that we've been developing all day, say bye to everybody in the chat rooms, or we have an IP camera focusing at us and other developers distributed, they could see us, wave at them, and then go back, join the traffic at Bangalore, go home, catch a movie, spend time with our family. In the next module, let's talk about some of the indispensable tools that are required for a distributed software engineer.